All right, so hi folks, my name is Chelsea Hanoun. I'm the Exchange and Study Abroad Coordinator for Acadia University. So thank you, Griffin, for tuning in live with us. And this recording is obviously going to be available online for folks to watch at their leisure as well. So today we have the pleasure of Christine joining us from the University of Oldenburg, and Christine is the incoming coordinator. So if you choose to go to Oldenburg, you'll be working with her directly. So Christine, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Chelsea. Griffin, it's nice to meet you, and I'm quite excited that you're interested in coming to Oldenburg. I would like to introduce us. So, as now you can see a picture of me. I'm the second person. I'm part of the welcome service of the international office, and together with my colleagues, we try to make sure that everything runs smoothly when new international students or researchers come to Oldenburg. We have a team of international tutors. They are students themselves, and they always help us with the welcome week. They organize events in the evening just to make sure that everybody gets all the information they need and that they have social contacts and make friends within the first days of their exchange, because especially in the beginning, it can feel lonely. And we always try to avoid that. So we offer a lot of social events in the beginning and also during the semester. So you might already know where Oldenburg is located, but some don't. And this is why I have this little map. It's in the north of Germany, quite close to the Netherlands, actually. We can go there on a day trip. But also Hamburg is not far away. It's also easy to get there for a day trip. And Berlin is around here, so that's perfect for a weekend trip. So we are close to the North Sea, which is nice. I don't know if you've heard about this phenomenon. It's called, we have quite strong tides in Germany, especially in this sea. And the sea sometimes disappears and there's just mud. And you can walk in the mud for quite a long time. It gets dangerous because the water is coming back at some point, but we actually did some mud hikes with our students last summer, and it was quite nice.
That's awesome. Christine, that's actually quite similar to where we are, where our university is located, because we're on the Bay of Fundy, so the tide comes in and out twice a day.
Okay, so you know this. Okay.
Yeah, we love walking in the mud.
Okay, perfect. Then you're at a good spot in Oldenburg. So this is what Oldenburg looks like. It's quite a nice little town. It's not too big, but not too small. We have a historic city center where there's even a little castle. There are about 170,000 inhabitants living in Oldenburg and about 15,000 students at the university. So the student population in Oldenburg is actually quite big. And Chelsea visited us last November, December, somewhere around there. And she might have noticed that there are people riding their bicycles all the time. And today it has been snowing and people are still on their bikes in the snow, and some are carrying around their umbrellas in the snow, and everybody is cycling everywhere. So it's easy to get to all places by bike, but you can always also use a bus. That's not a problem either. And this is what it looks like right now, I'd say. It's not a picture, not a live picture, but actually when I look out of the window, it's exactly like this right now. It's getting dark and it's quite frosty at the moment. So this is the city center of Oldenburg. There's some pedestrian areas and a little harbor. And this is the castle, which does not really look like a castle, but it is a castle. And this is more important. This is the University of Oldenburg. And you can see there are two campuses. And depending on what you're focusing on in your studies, you probably be based on one campus. And yeah, this is a picture from above. And this is one of the main lecture halls.
So Christine, Griffin and his friend Riley are business students. What campus would they be on?
They would be on the main campus, Campus Harentor, it's called. But if you're interested in doing some sports alongside with your studies, you might also visit the other campus because there's a huge sports field there. But this is the building where I am in right now, and you can see there's a basketball court here, and we also do have a swimming pool, a university swimming pool, which is in the main building right there. So, but you would be in this building mainly, I guess. So I already said we have about 17,000, 16,000, 17,000 students and 1,400 international students. Of course, we do not have so many exchange students. Every semester we have about 50, 60 exchange students here, and all the other international students are here studying for a degree. We do have some international study programs. This is why we have so many international students. And these are the key research areas of the university. If you're business students, it's probably not very interesting for you, but maybe it's nice to see. So this is important. These are our semester times. We have 2 semesters in Germany. The winter semester always runs from October till March, and the summer semester from April to September. And I know that this is not ideal for you, maybe. It is important to know that the lectures do not end at the end of March, but they already end in the beginning of February. And then there might be some exams, or some students might decide to write a term paper, and they do not have to do that in Oldenburg. And if you need to return home earlier than that, most exchange students leave in the beginning, mid of February. And it's the same with the summer semester. The summer semester officially ends at the end of September, but lectures usually end end of July. So most students are gone at the beginning of August. Some like to stay longer, and that's perfectly fine, but this is what our semester times looks like. And for
Christine, I just had a question about that.
Yeah.
So the latest exam would happen at in March for the winter semester, and then the latest exams would happen in September for the summer semester, correct?
Yes, but not it always, because every exchange student can create their own schedule. And in the beginning of the semester, we always recommend to talk to the lecturers and explain, okay, I'm an exchange student and I need to return to my home country in case that's the case. And they usually come up with other solutions if there really is a time conflict. And most exams happen within the first 2 weeks after lectures end. So there will be some exams in July and maybe some early August, but usually then everybody wants to go on holiday, the lecturers as well. So there's not much happening then. And if there really is a problem with the date, then it's always, a lot of lecturers agree that students can do a presentation instead or something else, or write a paper. There's some flexibility for exchange students.
Yeah, and we have in the past with other partners proctored exams. So if they couldn't do the exam at the host institution, we can proctor it in person at Acadia when students are back. So that is something that we can work with faculty and of course the exchange office with too, if there are academic calendar conflicts. Yeah,
we've never done that before, but I'm sure that would be an option if that's possible for you. So that's great. So if you are interested in coming to Oldenburg in the winter semester, it would be the 15th of July, which is the deadline for applications and nominations. So we always have some time to process all the applications, but also there are a lot of exchange students who need to apply for a visa. You don't. You could come if you have the Canadian citizenship. You can come to Germany without a visa, but you would have to apply for a residence permit when you are in Germany. This sounds complicated, but we give you all the information that you need, and we're always there if you have questions about the process. But the good thing is you do not need a visa to travel to enter Germany, which is good.
And is that if they're only coming for one semester or if they were coming for the full academic year?
both is possible, both. If students are coming for the full academic year, they're usually starting in the winter semester and staying for the summer semester. There are also some who come for the winter semester and then they decide they would like to extend. It's always an option as well. And some start in the summer semester and stay for the winter semester. So everything is possible.
We love that.
We try to be as flexible as possible. So, and exchange students are enrolled for at one school, for example, the school for business administration and law. That would be the one in your case, but you are free to choose from the entire list of modules. Now, if you want to do something in chemistry, you might need to have some previous knowledge to be actually accepted into the course. But basically, you could choose from social studies, or you can do a German course in the language center, and you can create what works best for you.
Yeah, that is really appealing for our students, because I know a lot of them do most of their core classes at Acadia, and they've really saved up their electives to do exchange and explore their interests. So they like that flexibility.
Yeah. Are you bachelor students, or do you already have a degree? Bachelor students, right?
Yeah, bachelor students.
Okay, thank you. So, as you might have guessed, most study programs run in German, but there are always some courses in English as well. We only have one bachelor program that's mainly in English, and that's engineering physics. All the others are mainly in German, but we do have quite a lot of students studying business administration or business, and there are some courses in English, and advanced bachelor students are also allowed to join the master courses. So if that's an option for you, it would be possible on our side. And for the master programs, there are some more study programs that run in English, and this is where our international students come from. They are mainly enrolled in these programs. There is
And I
one
believe,
yeah?
Christine, when I believe when I visited Christine, you might have given me a list of the courses that were taught in English. So perhaps we can pass that along and we can add it to our website too.
Yeah, we do have a course catalog that lists all the courses taught in English, and it's usually updated about 6 weeks before the semester starts. But if you're interested in coming in the winter semester, you can just refer to an earlier winter semester and you get an idea. This is a special study program that we have created for our exchange students, and it might be interesting for you. It's called European Studies in Global Perspectives. We always talk about EUGL. That's our EUGL program. And it has 2 clusters. And the first one, it also includes economy, society, economy, and politics. And it can be studied for 1 or 2 semesters, and it is taught in English. It is mandatory to do a German course, which we always recommend anyway. And there's one seminar on Germany, which is quite interesting. It's about the pasts and the presents, and it's a weekend seminar that also includes a trip to a museum about German, what's it called? German, is it immigrants? Not immigrants, the ones who left. The ones who left Germany for the US or for Canada, like especially about 100 years ago, I guess. So this program is really popular, and yeah, it includes business and economy classes, and these classes are not for EUGL students only. These are the normal classes, so you would be mixed with the other students, with German students and all the other ones studying business anyway. And if you complete it, you have to study for at least 24 credit points per semester, which is average for an exchange student, I guess. Like a regular German student would study for 30 credit points, but because you are in a different culture and everything is new, 24 is more realistic, and a lot of exchange students study less, actually. So 24 is good. So when the semester starts, we always have a welcome week for the international students. And this is our team of international tutors. And these are some of the new students last October. And we always create a program where we have info sessions during the day and then social events in the evenings. And we try to make sure to cover everything. We talk about creating your timetable, your schedule, but also about the residence permit, or we have introduced an intercultural training because it is a different culture, and Germans, as any other culture, can be very funny. There's some special, specialities in Germany. No, it's just good to be aware of intercultural differences. And so this is something we've now included in the Welcome Week as well. And all exchange students get a local buddy. One local buddy is usually responsible for 1, 2, or 3 exchange students or other international students. And they always try to arrange picking you up at the train station. Oldenburg does not have an airport, but Bremen, which is not far away, has a little airport, or Hamburg is another airport where a lot of students arrive. So after arriving by plane, they usually take the train to Oldenburg, and then the buddies always try to make it possible to meet you at the train station, and they get your keys for the student dorms before that, so that you can just get on the bus with them and they take you to your accommodation. I will say a few words about accommodation in a minute. These are some events that we organize during the semester. There's usually one event every second week minimum. Sometimes there's even more. There's one larger excursion, for example, to Berlin, but we have not done that in the past semesters because everybody's going to Berlin anyway, and we thought it might be nicer to go to places that are not as popular, so that it can be more like a group experience as well, and the group stays together, because in Berlin everybody's just doing their thing, and and students go there anyway. In the summer, if you come to Oldenburg during the summer, there's the Kultursommer. It's like a cultural summer. There are concerts all over the town and everything is free. It's a really nice atmosphere. Well, you have to buy your drinks and everything, but the concerts are free. And we organize international dinners or movie nights or karaoke nights and stuff like that. And also during the summer, we have the International Summer Fest. That's an event at the University of Oldenburg, and it's we organize it for our international students and international researchers. And students usually have a little booth and sell food from their home countries, and it's really nice. And I always eat far too much. We have a stage and there's dancing, and it's actually a really nice event, and I always recommend to come here during the summer. Although the winter is nice as well, because we have a lovely Christmas market in town, so that's also nice to see. So it's best to come here for an entire year. And accommodation, there are 9 different student dorms, and when you apply at the university, you always can hand in an application for accommodation, and we do have rooms for exchange students. The housing situation in Oldenburg is really bad, but exchange students usually get a room. They are partly furnished, and the contracts always lasts for 6 months. So you'd sign a contract for 6 months, and then if you want to extend it, you could extend it for another 6 months. Even if you're only here for 4 months or 5 months, it's always a 6-month contract, and you have to pay everything in advance. So 6 months need to be paid in advance, and it's about 1,500 euros for the 6 months. So yeah, it's about 200. It can go up if you require more luxury. It can go up, but that's the minimum you need to take into account for accommodation.
And Christine, I was wondering, we obviously get a lot of Oldenburg students coming to Acadia for exchange, and we've connected Griffin and Riley and our other prospective outbound students to our Oldenburg students here. Do most of your students like live in town in Oldenburg, or do they commute? Because perhaps if we keep them in contact over the next year or so, or maybe as they're getting closer to their exchange, they could help out with some off-campus housing if they're looking for alternative options.
Yeah, most students live in town. There are some that commute, but not too many. Most try to get a place in Oldenburg, and because it is not too big, you can get anywhere by bike or bus easily, or even walk. So
perfect.
So about the costs, there are no tuition fees in Germany for exchange students. You only have to pay a so-called semester contribution every semester, and that's about, it's a bit less for exchange students. It's 324 euros, but you get a public transport ticket that's included, and it allows you to use the regional public transport for free. And there's a discussion going on that it's even extended beyond the regional area. So that might change, but it might change for the better. As I said, accommodation is at least 200 euros per month. Staying in the student dorms is the cheapest option. And finding accommodation in town, especially at the beginning of the winter semester, is very, very difficult. Last winter semester I only know of the international students, and we had about 100 international students without accommodation. All exchange students had a room, so they were safe, but all the other ones, oh, it was not nice. So I always recommend to hand in an application, and then you get a room offer, and then you can still say, oh no, I found something else, but applying for it is always a good idea. So in the end, you need to plan for 950 euros per month. And this is also the amount that is basically demanded for the residence permit. I said that after 3 months, or within 3 months after your arrival, you will have to apply for a residence permit. And to get it, you need to prove that you can finance your living here. And they expect 934 euros per month for an entire semester, or if you're staying for a year. And that was it. That was my presentation. Do you have any questions right now?
Thank you so much, Christine. If you could send that presentation over, I would love to add it to our website too, so people can kind of click around again, but I'll pass it off to Griffin to ask some questions.
Yeah, you pretty much covered everything. That was really great. The one thing I will ask though about the residence is that's most likely what me and my friend would end up doing. How far is that from the campus? And you said you could just find a bike or even walk to the campus?
Yeah, it depends on the student residence you end up in. There are some that are quite close to the campus. They are about 5 minutes to walk. And there's another one which is more or less directly next to the train station in the city center, which is good as well. And that's about 15 minutes by bus or 10 minutes by bike. So it's not far.
It depends on if you want to be in the city center or close to campus.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention that you always have a single room. You share your bathroom and kitchen, but you have your single room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if me and my friend were to come together, how difficult is it to get into the same residence, and how would we go about that?
In the application, you can write a note, and the person who's responsible for doing the accommodation service, she always takes this into account. So this is very likely possible.
Okay. One other thing about, looking at the winter semester, it being from October to March, that takes up most of our school year. So we're trying to figure out something to maybe get the same credit hours as you would a full academic year here. And you said that a semester in Germany was 24 credits, and I believe a semester here is 15. Is it possible to maybe do like 30 credits over the
Yes.
term there?
Yes. It is possible, and it is what is expected of regular German students as well. And I had exchange students who even did 36 or 40 or whatever. But yeah, I think it is possible, but you would really have to focus on your studies. If you are interested in taking a German course, the German course itself is 9 credit points already. So you get a lot of credit points doing that. And if you do 1 or 2 weekend seminars, that's another. So weekend seminars are a good option to add credit points. And what is also possible is that you can talk to lecturers and ask them if you can do more to get more credit. That's also possible.
Yeah, and we're working on the back end of things just to make sure that the equivalencies will match up for a full-time like credit load. So we've done that with other partners as well. As long as you're doing like full-time at Oldenburg, you'll get full-time back at Acadia. So easiest would be if you go for the full academic year, because then there's less of that calendar difference. But we are having those conversations, and we can chat about that again.
Right. All right. Well, that's all the questions I had. Thanks.
Yeah, Christine, I just had one more question that I'm sure Griffin might be interested in too. Is does the university help with like bike rentals? Is there somewhere in town, or do people like buy used bikes? What's the best way to kind of get off your feet and riding in town?
There's a bike rental in town, which we always recommend because it's really cheap. I think it's about 15 euros per month, and they offer that if your bike breaks, then they replace it, and you don't have to take it back. They just get you your new bike, and you can just continue cycling. Even if it is stolen, because bikes get stolen a lot. If it had been locked, you are not responsible for it as long as it has been locked before. So we always recommend that. And our international tutors who are there during the welcome week, they always do a city tour, and they always point out that place. But it's also possible to buy a used bike. Some do that as well.
So, well, thank you so much, Christine. And if Griffin, you don't have any other questions, we'll sign off.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. And if any questions pop up later, you're always welcome to contact me, both of you. So I'm here to answer. I will send you the presentation, and I'm sorry for the camera, but at least you got to see the presentation. It was more important than seeing my face.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
It was nice talking with you again, Christine. Have a great day.
Have a great day, you too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.